I have 9 kids. And they're like, oh, how are you gonna pay for your kids' college education? What? I don't have 9 kids because I'm addicted to pregnancy. However, I do feel really beautiful when I'm pregnant. I had 9 C-sections and I do love having 9 kids. Time to dish up dinner for my huge family. I'm gonna scrape what I can out of here, right? Get what's left for mama. Each of these birthday parties is for 2 kids at a time.
No.
I don't have 9 kids because I'm addicted to pregnancy. However, I do feel really beautiful when I'm pregnant. And I do not have 9 kids because I'm in a cult, like some people assume. However, I do think that every single baby is a huge blessing. And I do not have 9 kids because I'm going to get some great big tax refund at the end of the year. Because no matter how much we get in a tax refund, we're always going to spend way more than that taking care of these kids, right? And I do not have 9 kids so I can drive around my awesome 15-passenger van, although I do enjoy loading up my babies in our little bus and going on these adventures with them. Now, I do have 9 kids because I love motherhood. Motherhood in itself is such a blessing, and I feel like motherhood is definitely my ministry, right? Raising these babies to change the world. And I do love having 9 kids because each one of them is so special and so unique, and I love, love, love watching them grow and seeing how their lives are going to impact those around them. I can't imagine them not being in this world if I would have stopped at 1, 2, or 3 children. I'm so thankful they're here and that they get to experience this beautiful life.
Now, I don't like to do the coochie clocking, but today we clocking cooch. We're clocking cooch because she said she had 9 kids. I can't count that high. Anyway, I am perplexed because, ma'am, are you tired? I just want to know, is she tired? Because 9 in 2026, how many of them are toddlers? How many? Now, I know a lot of y'all are going to be like, Symone, nobody should have 9 kids. Actually, I don't think there's an issue with having 9 kids as long as financially you are ready and able to provide for all those kids. I don't see nothing wrong with it. If she had 9 kids and she was like, I don't know how I'm gonna make it, and she just kept popping them out and popping them out and popping them out, this would be totally different. If she was having 9 kids and then she was like, you know, I'm having the kids to get the benefits from the kids, from the government or something, it'd be a totally different conversation. But that's not what I heard. But the strength and patience you must have to get knocked up 9 times, and I want to know, do they have college for all the kids? That's really what I want to know, because I can't be the only one that sees children now in 2026 and thinks to themselves, when these kids are 30, what is life going to look like for them? And that alone for me personally, is enough to reconsider things. Now, I'm not telling nobody else what to do, but I'm watching regular adults right now struggle. And would I want to bring somebody here to possibly be a part of the struggle? No, unless I had them set up. You know, if I had a little something like, hey, the way I see it, that's looking out for the unborn. But I don't see nothing wrong with this. I need to know what y'all think. But let me go to the comments, because I think this is going to be an interesting one. And she said here, I'm thankful I didn't stop when others told me I should. Now, y'all got to pick a side, society. And that's the part that annoys me. On one side, when you're a woman that is child-free by choice, you'll have people clocking your cooch. My cooch gets clocked all the time. They be like, when are you going to have kids? Any kids coming soon? And I'm 33, and I hit him with the, I don't, I'm just enjoying life, me and my dog. And they be like, dog? I said, I got a rabbit in the back. They be like, rabbit? Where's the kids? Like, and this is the worst one right here. And I know I'm going off on a rant. This is the worst one. It'll happen for you soon one day. I'll be looking at them like, says who? Says you? Don't be clocking my cooch like that. Telling me what is gonna come out when I, on purpose, made sure nothing came out. You know what I'm saying? And then, on the flip side, when people have too many kids, y'all be like, y'all have too many kids. Which one is it, society? Do y'all want children? Do y'all want the women just to have a bunch of kids or not? Because it's seeming like y'all got limits and expectations. And this is why I want to bring up, do what's best for you. Do what's best for you. Because obviously there ain't no pleasing everybody. And one thing you will have to do is raise these children. Regardless of what you've been influenced to do or not. When they're here, they're here. and a lot of people might say, you need to have some kids, blah, blah. Is they gonna help? Are they the village? Hello, can you run to them, no escape? Or is it gonna be a bunch of crickets? I digress. Let me read these comments. Now, the first one says, I grew up in a family of 8 kids. I hated it. Now, this is according to one of the kids. Others saying, this is actually my worst nightmare. Ooh, tough crowd today. Oh, this one says, love this. I'm due with baby 12 soon. And somebody replied, yikes. And this comment here is a very interesting one. It says, 9 children, how can you possibly manage meeting their needs? Don't get me started about having enough time for each of them. The older ones are probably doing your job as a parent. Now, I can't confirm nor deny what is going on in her home, but let's try to get some more context because she seems to like it. And y'all, I did some digging and she is responding to a video that says, can you speak about how you guys will pay for their college education? That's what I wanted to know. That's the real tea. I got high hopes. Let's see.
Are people really expected to pay for their own kids' college education? That is one of the things that people get really upset about sometimes when they hear I have 9 kids. And they're like, oh, how are you going to pay for your kids' college or their college education? What? Like, I remember when I was a small child and my mom paid off her college loans. Like, to her, she was so excited. She's like, oh, I just paid off my college loans kind of thing. And I remember that as a child when that happened. And I have never, ever expected, like, when I don't have a college degree, but I did take some college classes and my mom did not pay for those. Okay. Like, I don't know why. Like, if parents help their kids out, that's great. That's fine. You know, I believe in giving them a hand up, right? But at the same time, I'm just like, are we expected to pay for their whole college education? And for me, with my kids, I'm not even pushing them all to go to college. It's more about like, what do you feel like you want to do after you graduate? What do you feel called to do? What seems like the right fit for you? I'm not going to say, oh yeah, you need to go to college. First of all, I'm going to promote, like, it depends on what you want to be. If you're going to be a doctor, yes, you need some specialized training on that, right? You need some college. But what if you want to go to a trade school? What if you want to do something that doesn't require any kind of a degree? Like, it just depends on what you want to do, right? What you feel led to do, called to do. And that's really going to depend on each child. I'm not pushing college, like, oh, you still need to go to college. But also, I don't think parents, like, have to pay for the whole college education for their children. Like, whether you even have 1 kid or whether you have 20 kids, right. I don't think a parent should have to pay for their whole college education. It wasn't for me. It wasn't for my mom. Parents can help, yes, but I don't think that's a requirement.
I wanted to hear her all the way out. And I'll be honest, she didn't really answer the question. She danced around answering how you guys will pay for the college. What she did say is essentially she doesn't think it's a requirement, which of course it's not a requirement. And I agree. But the reason why I feel like people are asking this is because many people bring children into the world and they're thinking about them as babies or just up until the age of 18. But if we're being honest, parenting doesn't stop at 18. And so when I hear an answer like this, that's like, well, my mom didn't do that for me, and that's fine and dandy, and she was paying off loans, you know, okay, that's cool. But let's think about how many children grow up without the option available because of the family that they're coming from and the fact that their family hasn't thought about these things. Or maybe their family's like, nobody did it for me, so I don't really think I need to do it for you. And you have 9 children, and whether they want to go to college or not, or a trade, or even start a business, I do think that it's important to consider how you can best help these children after the age of 18, because that is a major struggle a lot of parents don't talk about. And it's quite frustrating, to be totally honest. It's quite frustrating to think about how it could affect the children. I myself know what that is like to be 18 and not have anything. And when I say anything, I mean any resources to help me with adulthood. I'm talking any sort of savings, any sort of cars. There was not any nepotism that I could walk into where I'm like able to get a good job at 18. That wasn't the case. Trying to figure out, how am I going to have health insurance, dental insurance, let alone the situation of which many of us are put in, trying to figure out how to pay bills at 18 when you don't have any skills and you don't have any money. There is no savings set aside for you. There never was. And I understand a lot of parents say that they're doing their best or they did their best, but when we're talking about having children, we can't just think about when they hit 18, this being some sort of relief and now your job is done. No, I feel when you have children, your job isn't done till you die. And I even tell my mom this sometimes. I'll be like, you ain't done. I be having to, like, you have to remind them, like, and they be getting a little feisty. Yeah, your job is not done. Hello. And I'm the child that will say like smart comments like that because I just see it as reality. The job is not done. It's time for you to clock back in. It's like, you want to set your children up the best you can, if you can, because what are the kids going to do after they turn 18? What is available for them besides bills and struggle? Now, she very well may be setting something aside for her children, but she didn't really answer the question, which personally makes me think there is not a plan right now. Or maybe TikTok is the plan. Because ma'am, if this is your plan, then, you know, I see what you're doing here with my magnifying glass. And I'm not even mad at it. I'm not even mad if somehow discussing your life in this unique situation and, you know, the John and Kate +8 dynamic ends up bringing money into the household, which then can help the kids. At this point, why not? As long as the kids ain't all on the camera, I actually don't see nothing wrong with it. I mean, because look around. Look at what these 18-year-olds are dealing with. We can't turn a blind eye to that. And every child is not going to have a scholarship. Every child doesn't want to join the military. Wouldn't it be nice to have something for your kids, like, so they have better than what you had when you stepped off the porch? But let me go to these comments. This is gonna be interesting. I already know. Now, this first comment says, you don't have to, but a good parent will. And the comment underneath says, people disagree with you, but a good parent has kids they can afford, including schooling. It says, mine are paying for 3 kids, obviously encouraging scholarships. But the scholarship is not the main thing. You see, they actually also have something set aside too. Another comment says, so if people can't afford $50K plus for university, they shouldn't have kids. What? To that comment, I would say you can have kids, just expect for your kids to possibly struggle. Like, can we be honest? That is a fair thing to say. If you don't want to put anything aside for your children, are you going to then be surprised that they're struggling at 18? And then we got AI already, like, jobs are already looking very spooky. And then there are parents who think they don't need to help a child that has nothing for them to go out in the world and compete with other adults that are 18, because these are adults, by the way. And you think that's not going to be chaos and stress for an 18-year-old? And they can go into debt. Yeah, they can. Or perhaps as the adult is probably way older and getting paid way more and probably has way more skills than an 18-year-old in a higher paying job, hopefully. You know, hopefully. In today's society, that you never know. But you have a better chance of catapulting your child from the moment they're born for 18 years and trying your best to set them up with something than them jumping off the porch at 18 with not 2 nickels to rub together. And you looking at them say, well, ain't nobody ever helped me. Another comment saying, and the cycle continues. Allegedly, can't confirm nor deny. Another comment saying, I don't have a college degree. The way my jaw stayed in place. Another saying, I'm so glad my parents didn't have this mindset. And this one right here says, are parents expected to invest in their child's future? They're quoting her, obviously. What's interesting is a lot of parents, it sounds like, are invested. Like, she seems like she does want to pour into her children, but financially, with a lot of, and she's not the only one, with a lot of parents, for some reason, that is where it starts to get a little hazy. And then don't nobody know nothing. Don't nobody know nothing. They be like, I gave you love and I gave you this and those things are important too, but so is the financial aspect of that child's life, because it does affect their well-being. And the money should be used as a tool, not something to worship, but something to help them in life.
I got so much hate and so many people were angry at me for my last video just because I was trying to explain how we do not prioritize kids' sports in our family. We prioritize family time, times with friends, and having a peaceful schedule. My kids still do some sports, yes, but we're not like gonna be like, yes, go, 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 go. And this mama commented on my post, and I'm so thankful she did, because another example of someone who got burnt out, someone who, did too much, go, 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 and it was not a good thing, right? We want peace in our homes. And
I need to read it. It says, those who are complaining she doesn't have them in every sport if they want to. Growing up, my mom let me fill my entire schedule with sports and extracurriculars, and I was never home. Okay.
In our lives, we want strong family relationships. We want enough time for them to go and hang out with friends, not like, oh, sorry, I have this, and this going on. I can't even be with my friends, right?
I think what is interesting about her saying the sports thing, or them not being in all of this different stuff. Here's the thing with that. I'm gonna just go ahead and say it really, a brutal truth for many kids. A lot of the kids are going to be in debt if they don't have talent, if they're not good at a sport, if they're not in clubs or organizations. When they go to college, they're going to be in debt because a lot of other students are in these clubs and organizations, and they may be given scholarships. I'm saying this to bring awareness for all the parents that don't have their children in any sort of anything and are not preparing them for after high school. And you see, the sports and the extracurricular activities build a whole bunch of other skills that are also useful for many children. Also, sports, a lot of children, is the one thing that is keeping them physically fit, because the way that the phones and the tablets and everything is set up, some of them only just eating all day. They're just eating all day. And a lot of the parents aren't giving them things that are the best for them. Not saying she is. So to me, this is just very interesting to hear. Very interesting.
So important. Relationships are so important, right?
Right.
And like I said, yes, my kids still do sports, but that should not be the priority in our lives, right? And for us, we are Christians, so God, family, other people, down on the list somewhere maybe is sports, right? Staying healthy is important, yes, but we're not going to be the people that are spending, thousands of dollars and traveling for sports. Even if I only had 1 or 2 kids, I wouldn't do that, let alone 9. So I don't know why people are getting so angry at that when I'm like, prioritize family, friends, peaceful schedule. Yeah, we don't want the chaos. We just don't want that.
Now, I understand she's the mother and they have the right to run their household however they want. But when she was talking about she don't want to do all this traveling for sports and she doesn't want the chaos, and I understand wanting peace and all of that, but this goes back to the conversation of having too many kids and being spread thin. Of course, that would be chaotic for nine kids. Like, can we? And I'm not saying this makes her a bad mother, because she could be a great mother. I'm saying when you have 9 kids, I would assume it would be chaotic for each of them to be in any sort of sports, in extracurricular activities or anything like that, because you have 9 kids and you still gotta feed all the rest of them when Timmy and Jimmy are at basketball or soccer or volleyball, which goes back to the conversation of somebody might go without and somebody might not be able to get something that they may need or may want, because that would be chaos for you. You see how it always comes back to, well, that would disrupt the peace that I want. Yes, it would. And that is why these conversations are important. Like, say you had a child that wanted to be like Olympic level of sports, or maybe you have half of them that want to do that. If you have 9 kids, let's just say 4 of them wanted to do that. Somebody's not going to get what they want. Somebody's not going to be happy. So it's like, it's either going to be you or the kids. And I don't think it takes anybody 9 children later to figure that out. I think that if this video don't show you that and tell you that, hey, if you have a lot of kids, you might not have the time, the energy, or the patience for all of that, I don't know what will, because this is what I'm hearing. That's what I'm hearing. And then I'm also hearing, well, we college, they can get scholarships. How are you going to get a scholarship? Where's the scholarship coming from? Because don't get me wrong, and I was an AB student, AB honor roll, AB honor roll. Do you know how competitive it is for scholarships? A's and B's ain't even enough. You gonna need to be in organizations. And I was in several organizations. And guess what? That still might not be enough. And I hate clocking people cooch. I don't like the cooch clocking, but I definitely believe in thorough family planning. And I'm even talking about college. All of it. You gotta think of it 9 times. 9 times. Let me read the first comment. It says, we don't prioritize. You mean you don't? I agree with that. Have you ever let the children decide what they want to do without interference from what you want or what you tell them they should want? Somebody said here, there's no peaceful schedule when there's 11 people in the house. I feel there's only so much peace you can have with 11 people. 11.
I had 9 C-sections, so how far apart were they? Well, I had my oldest when I was 17 years old. She was born at 42 weeks after a failed Pitocin induction. And then 1 year, 11 months later, I had a planned C-section with number 2 at 39 weeks. Baby number 3 was also a planned C-section at 39 weeks, and that gap is 1 year, 2 months. Baby number 4 was a planned C-section at 39 weeks, and he was born 2 years, 2 months later. Baby number 5 was also a planned C-section at 39 weeks. That age gap is 1 year, 7 months. Now, baby number 6 was supposed to be a planned C-section at 39 weeks, but because I had tummy pain and a uterine window, he was born actually at 37 weeks. That age gap is 1 year, 8 months. Baby number 7 was a planned C-section at 36 weeks, and that age gap is 2 years, 3 months. Baby number 8 was also a planned C-section at 36 weeks, and that age gap is 2 years, 5 months. Now, baby number 9, I just had him last summer. He was a planned C-section at 37 weeks. I got them to let me go a week longer, and that age gap from his big sister is 1 year, 10 months. So, to recap all my C-sections, number 1, the shortest age gap is just 1 year, 2 months. The longest age gap is 2 years, 5 months, and then altogether the total gap is 15 years. I've been so blessed with these 9.
I'll say this though, ma'am, on a serious note, I'm glad that you're able to tell us about it, because 9, whew, and I don't know much about C-sections, but 9 sounds extreme and kind of dangerous. 9, and I'll admit I'm ignorant when it comes to C-sections, but 9, like stitch up 9 times, whew.
Is it wrong for kids to have to share bedrooms? Like they have to, no choice. Do my 9 kids share their bedrooms? How many kids do I have in a room? Well, here's our setup currently. My oldest will be 16 next month. She has her own room. My second oldest just turned 14. She has her own room. My third and fourth, they are both boys. They are 12 and a half and 10 and a half. They share a room. And then my 9-year-old daughter and my 2.5-year-old daughter, they share a room. Then my 7-year-old son and my 5-year-old son, they share a room. And then baby number 9, he will be 11 months old next week. He still is in my room with his crib and everything. So right now at max, we have 2 per room. Our house is 4 bedrooms, but we have a really nice finished attic and a finished basement, really nice. And we've turned both of those into bedroom space as well. Plenty of room. But that being said, I've seen so much shame right now about making kids share bedrooms and how bad that is. Like, you shouldn't be having kids if you can't give them their own bedroom and stuff. That is totally not true. Sharing bedrooms is super normal. Even parents with only like 2 or 3 kids and their kids share a bedroom, that is not a bad thing, okay? Like, our kids all still have their own privacy, their own space. It's not like it's one big communal thing where everyone has to share, right? No, sharing bedrooms is not bad. Like, I shared a bedroom growing up, and it was not a bad thing. Like, and there was 7 years between me and my sister. Not a big deal, right? So yeah, sharing bedrooms, nothing to shame a mom for at all. And I think that's just ridiculous.
Now, to be fair, the only one that sounded kind of crazy to me was a 9-year-old and a 2-year-old. 9 and 2, I would imagine that's a toddler that might be crying or something. And the 9-year-old, that might be a lot for a 9-year-old. But when she mentioned the other ages that were sharing rooms, I didn't think that was that bad. And then she had them separated by gender, and the teenagers had their own room, which in my opinion is very important to have independence when you're a teenager. But I also just feel that listening to, she's articulating herself that because she grew up sharing rooms, she doesn't see anything wrong with it, which is fine. But she said the same thing about college. Like, well, I grew up like, and I am only pointing that out because when people go through something when they're kids or however they grew up, and then they become adults, and then they say things like, well, I was done like this, so I don't see nothing wrong with it. And it's like, some of y'all weren't done right in certain situations by your parents. And it's okay to say that. It is. It's okay to say, this is how I grew up. It is what it is. But for me, I'm looking to be the change in this generation. I don't want that for my children. It's okay to say those things and to do those things. It's okay to say, I want better for my kids. It's perfectly fine to say, I grew up dealing with X, Y, and Z, and I don't want my kids to deal with X, Y, and Z. Because I think that's how a lot of things get passed down generation to the next generation, and it just doesn't stop. It's a cycle. And that can be applied to anything. It can be, hey, I got kicked out at 18, so you can get kicked out at 18. I didn't get no car, so you ain't gonna get no car. I didn't have no college, so you ain't gonna have no college. I shared a bedroom, so you're gonna share a bedroom. I had to babysit the kids, so you're gonna babysit the kids. And it's like, when you are the adult, you're in charge. You can make the changes of what will continue in your child's life. The question is, do a lot of y'all think that the kids deserve better or any change? That's the real thing. Because it's not wrong how she had it set up necessarily, because whether it's right or wrong for a child to share a room, I think is debatable, right? It is, clearly. But I don't think any child is like, oh my gosh, I want to share a room with my siblings. I truly don't think that is what's going on in any child's head. I don't think so.
How does a family of our size do birthday parties? Well, here's the rule in our house. Each of these birthday parties is for 2 kids at a time.
No. Did I hear that right?
Each of these birthday parties is for 2 kids at a time.
She said 2 at a time. No. She trying to piss us off.
So today we had a birthday party for my son who turned 5 in April and my daughter who turns 9 in May.
She's serious. Girl, now, this is sad for the kids. What do you mean? One of their birthday been passed and another one coming up. Y'all finna celebrate now? They can't even get a day to themselves? Is that what we're saying? Is that what we're saying? That 9 kids were had seemingly on purpose. And when their one special day comes, that is the day they were born, the day that they are supposed to be celebrated, they are celebrating with one of their siblings? Is that what we're doing? Absolutely not okay. The ghetto. I wouldn't even want to post nothing like this to tell the world. Is this because of a budget? What is the reason?
And so they had to agree on a theme. They chose a bluey theme. They had to agree on the food, on the flavor of cake.
And they shouldn't have to agree on nothing. Nathan. They shouldn't have to agree with their sibling about how they want to celebrate the day they were born. Where is the individualism? Because one thing about a celebration, I don't care what is being celebrated. When somebody has achieved something, it is their day. It is not shared. It is not time for somebody else to be acknowledged. It's not your turn. And that's an important thing to teach children. It's not about you right now. Your day, when your day comes, it's about you. And when your day is here, we're celebrating you. And ain't nobody else they're not getting the eyes. They're not being celebrated. It's about you because you are important as a person. You are valuable. You are worthy of that. Kids love a good birthday party. Some ice cream, some cookies, cake, a pizza. I'm over here thinking this 9 times. Ma'am, you being stingy. You being stingy and I don't like it. You being stingy. You. And where the husband at? Because now I got questions. What? Why would two adults say this is okay? I'm finna boycott.
And it actually works out really well because these are the parties that we invite all the grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins to. And so it's nice for everybody involved if we have one party for 2 kids at a time versus multiple parties in a close time frame, right?
And they messed up too. Yeah, we need an intervention for the whole family, clearly. Everybody needs to be questioned. So you mean to tell me that the aunts, the uncles, the auntie, the grandparents, Mima, Nana, whatever you want to call it, Paw done came in there, and you mean to tell me nobody said this ain't right? It's not right for the kids. Nobody? We gotta do better than this.
Now, we do have other rules, like once a child turns 10, they can start having a friends party that is separate from their family parties, where them and their friends can get together and do something fun for their birthday.
This is sad.
And another rule is when it's the actual day of their birthday, no matter how old they are, just us in the household, mom, dad, and all the kids, we do something special for that individual on their birthday. So all around, we have a lot of fun for birthdays in our house, and this is just how we make stuff work.
And why you gotta make it work? Somebody is gonna go without because ain't enough of you to go around for the kids. And you resorting to pairing up birthdays. That's proof in itself. And then you got the nerve to say, we love celebrating over here. I can't tell if you love it so much. Separate it. You know, don't hide it, divide it. Don't hide it, divide it, literally. Divide it. You using multiplication. You're using multiplication. I'm so mad I can't even get it out. You done multiplied it. Multiplication on a birthday? I've never seen nothing like this, except for twins, because that makes sense. That's the only time it makes sense. You only got one mom, 2 kids, birthdays on the same day. The best you maybe could do is separate birthday times. If you wanted to really split it up. Mom and dad might be at work. You know, you might only have 4 hours on that day for both of the kids. That makes sense. Wrap it up. The first comment says, as a family of 11, absolutely the F not. Each kid gets their own birthday party. Another comment saying, if your kid can't get their own birthday party, then you've had too many. What the F? And y'all are over here trying to defend this foolishness, talking about she said they get their own birthday and stuff on their actual B-day, but the party itself is together. That's the celebration. Are y'all okay? Do y'all know what a party is? That's the part where you're celebrating. Why do they gotta get celebrated on the same day? This ain't Groupon. Y'all Grouponing birthdays for kids? Birth 2 on 2 separate days and get 1 birthday for 2 on the same day? This is not Groupon. What? Another one said, I came from a family of 17 kids. We got our own birthday party. And she commented, wow, all of your relatives would come to 17 parties? They replied, yes, ma'am. Other comments saying, this is so sad. Another saying, they don't even share a birthday month. What the F? They had to agree on the theme of the birthday. So every year until you get 10, you gotta agree with your sibling about the theme of your birthday for the year that you had the birthday. Okay, got it. Another saying, I got nothing nice to say. Ooh, and this is interesting. I hope you and your husband share your birthday and Mother and Father's Day. Ooh.
It's time to dish up dinner for my huge family. Now, unfortunately, it's a little bit crispy, not like I was intending it to be, but I just followed the instructions, so I'm not sure what happened.
What are we looking at? Is lasagna? I don't know yet.
First up, I'm dishing for baby number 8, who is 2.5 years old. She loves her fruit, and so that's her food. Then we're having baby number 7. He is 5 years old. He's very, very picky, but I still try to get him to eat healthy. I want some meat on his bones. Then baby number 6, he is 7 years old. He's a good eater for the most part and not super picky, so he does well. Baby number 5, she is the one that just is turning 9 years old. Again, a little bit picky, but loves her fruit and loves the meat, so she'll be doing great. Then we have baby number 4. He is 10.5 years old. He is a very good eater. Sometimes I have to kind of be like, okay, I think you've had enough. But again, I'm filling his plate nice and full. Baby number 3 is going to be 13 this summer. He's a good eater for the most part if it's something he likes. He does like this, except he doesn't like some of the berries, so I'm just giving him grapes. Then baby number 2, she will be 14 next week. She's not very picky. She's a very good girl. Then we have baby number 1. She is 15, turning 16 this summer. She loves all of her food too. She does well. Then we're going to plate up for my handsome husband. I like to give him a good amount, and even if there's something he doesn't quite quite love, he eats it so that he sets a good example for the kids. Me, now it's my turn. I'm gonna scrape what I can out of here, right? Get what's left for mama. And those of you that are wondering, baby number 9, he is like 10 and a half months, so I cut up some of the fruit very small for him to put on his high chair tray. So that's what we're having for dinner tonight.
This is a very, very interesting video here. Now, a lot of people are saying this in the comments. Why such little food for so many people? Now, they are also saying this can't be real. That's not enough food for the kids. Others saying this is surviving and not living. Another saying, not enough food. You literally had to eat the scraps. In one comment saying you had to put meat on his bones and then proceeds to give him a tiny portion of whatever that is with fruit. In this comment here saying, a parent saying, I think you've had enough is honestly gross. Maybe just for one of her kids, she didn't want him doing too much. There are people saying that allegedly they would be hungry. Can't confirm nor deny. I do want to show that for a lot of people with larger households, this is the reality. It is. And you see who got the scraps. You see who got the scraps. Sometimes everything is right in front of you. Do with that information what you will. But I need to know what y'all think about all this down below. Like, this video, honestly, it was a lot. And I don't mean that in a positive way. Unfortunately, I hope that this video opens the eyes to everybody watching on the realities of having a large family and what that may look like. There are many families that are large that don't have these dynamics. So I don't want to group everybody together. There are families who are large, who have the resources, who have the money, who have the time, the patience, all of that for a large family. But it is far more common to see the dynamics to look like what we've seen here in this video. And I want to know what y'all think about all this down below. What was the most crazy part of this video to you? For me, it was the dang birthday. The birthday sent me, and I'm still trying to land back to earth. But we got to start making better decisions today in order to have a better future.